السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، مساء الخير جميعا. أهلا بكم في برنامج نيوكاسل مع وليد وديف في حلقتكم الأسبوعية. لدينا العديد من الأخبار إن شاء الله، يعني راح نتكلم فيها مع مصدرنا الموثوق ديف من نيوكاسل. ويلكم ميت، ويلكم ديف.
All right, mate. All right, everybody.
I hope you're bringing a lot of explanation and a lot of news from Newcastle. طبعا
don't know what's going on here.
Okay, we'll ask about everything. طبعا بالبداية نرحب فيكم يا شباب. طبعا لا تنسوا الاشتراك في أو الانضمام لجروب الواتساب لمتابعة مجتمع الواتساب لمتابعة آخر أخبار نيوكاسل يونايتد والمشاركة مع الجماهير. لدينا العديد من الجروبات، كل جروب يعني له سمته الخاصة. يعني أنصحكم طبعا بجروب 24 ساعة نيوكاسل، انضمام عبر الرقم في البايو أو عن طريق هذا الكود. طبعا للتذاكر، تذاكر المباريات يرجى يعني الاتصال على أو رسالة على الواتساب لتذاكر جميع المباريات المحلية والعالمية. طبعا عندنا راح نتكلم عن الأخبار اليوم، راح نتكلم عن آخر الأخبار. عندنا طبعا إيفنت خاص لأسطورة نيوكاسل شي جيفن. اليوم راح نتكلم عن أبرز قصص أو مسيرة اللاعب الحارس الإيرلندي، أبرز حراس نيوكاسل عبر التاريخ، أبرز مقتطفات من مسيرته طبعا، ومن أفضل من يحكيها من ديف هافري من نيوكاسل، عاصر اللاعب من بدايته إلى نهايته ومسيرته. راح نسأل ديف بعض من هذه القصص. طبعا الايفنت راح يكون في اريا لاونج بوابة الرياض، حي العقيق، طريق الملك فهد في الرياض، من الساعة 8 إلى منتصف الليل. راح يكون في أسئلة وهدايا وسحوبات ومشاركات. طبعا الرابط موجود في حساب النادي بالعربي، وأيضا حسابنا في تويتر، وأيضا في جروب الواتساب. ويفضل طبعا طريقة الدخول انه اللي بيقدم في الرابط راح يتم الحصول على، راح يجي ايميل فقط يبرز الايميل هذا عند الدخول، وايضا يعني عشان الحصول ايضا على مشروب مجاني والمشاركة في السحوبات. Dave, I make this picture. You are aware that Shay Given visiting us in Riyadh in a special event organized by Newcastle United. Fans saw this. I think it's my mistake actually. Fans thought the picture, who doesn't know you, he think the picture is Shay Given. Your picture.
I think I'm Shay Given. No, no, he's a lot better looking than me. Tell you. Yeah.
All right. Quickly, Dave, before we go into story of Shay Given, what you can tell us a few words about Shay Given before we go to the news about transfer. After that, we'll go in details with Shay Given. How you see Shay Given in Riyadh?
I think it's good. It's good for relationships between our two countries that Shay's coming out there, because he's much greatly loved player from Newcastle. Although, would you believe he was with Sunderland before he came to Newcastle? He was a Sunderland player, and then he came to Newcastle. But he was absolutely one of the world's best goalkeepers at the time when he was at Newcastle. He was simply outstanding, positional player. You know, the battles between him and Pavel and Steve Harper, you know, who was going to be the number one goalkeeper. Shay was he's an absolute legend. Fantastic shot stopper, you know, brilliant goalkeeper for the Republic of Ireland. So he's a well loved by all Newcastle fans, and it was such a shame that when he left. But he was one of these players who didn't like Mike Ashley and said so, and Mike Ashley
like everybody does.
Yeah, so
Brilliant stuff, Dave.
again,
We'll go to this into details. We definitely want to know or learn why he came from Sunderland and how's the way he left and how's now being appreciated by the new owner and bring the legend back. We'll talk about all of that. But now let's give 10 minutes at least for the players. We saw the dilemma now. Craig Hope came every day, say something. Mark Douglas came and say no, this is not true. It's like a game of Thrones of newspapers. Everybody have saying something different. Agents start to talk. Ben Jacob, as usual, say weird stuff regarding transfer. Nobody knows, just him. Doesn't make any sense. It's like propaganda from the age. It's a lot of things. But Trippier going to Bayern Munich, 3 bid. It's a game of the 3 bids. So let's to simply all of that. Let's start with Trippier. Latest
Trippier deals off.
لا يوجد انتقال
Nothing's
لتريبير
happening there.
ثانيا.
Unless Trippier turns around and says he wants to go, deals off. Not happen. They've turned down 3 bids, and I think Bayern Munich now get the message that he's not going anywhere. Club said he's not for sale, so he's not going anywhere. Yes, there's been talks. I think Newcastle had to listen to offers. Newcastle had to listen to the offers that Bayern Munich actually made, but rightly they turned around and said, "No way, we need him."
Why the club doesn't say, okay, we want 30 million for Trippier? Why they are waiting and listening? Why they are not giving the price from the beginning?
No, I think they have. I don't think there must be something. There must be something in the sort of deal that that Trippier's got. I mean, Bayern Munich wouldn't offer. They already said that they didn't want to overpay. They didn't want to overpay, so they saw that the bid would have been about 11-12 million pounds was a fair deal. They obviously came back with a 15 million euro, which is about 13 million pounds. But that's not. That's just a £1 million profit on what we paid Kieran Trippier, and he's worth to us more than that. And so they've rightly refused to let him go. And I think that it's from what I hear, what I've seen on the different podcasts and stuff like that, that deal's off. You go nowhere unless Kieran Trippier asks to go.
طبعا
he's not interested.
بالنسبة لتريبير زي ما جبنا يعني خبر الأسبوع الماضي قلنا إنه تريبير لما جاء العرض راح لألمانيا هو وزوجته شاف الوضع وقالوا للنادي إحنا يعني ما عندنا مانع إذا أنتم راضين يعني أو عجبكم الديل يعني إذا تفهمتم ماديا إحنا ما عندنا مانع، لكن هو يفضل إنه يبقى في النادي. لكن لما يجي واحد عرض إنه نبغاك في ألمانيا وتلعب مع هاري كين وظن دير وظن اللاعب فيعني ولما يجي عرض مهتم ولاعب خلاص قرب على يعني حلو اللاعب يحس انه مطلوب حتى في اخر مراحل عمره الكرويه فقال انه انا لا امانع. لكن الكلام الاول اللي يهاون اداره النادي ما عجبها المبلغ المعروض حتى وصل 15 مليون تقريبا نفس القيمه او اكثر شوي بقليل يعني من القيمه اللي جاء فيها اصلا نيوكاسل. لكن يعني الوضع الآن لا يسمح برحيل أي من اللاعبين إلا إذا كان المبلغ يسوى. لكن ديف قال يعني بالأخير أنه اللاعب لن ينتقل. أنا بنجيكم على بارت بس ننتظر نخلص اللاعبين. خلصنا من تريبير. Almiron ديف.
Almiron looks like he'll be going, but it's all in Al Shabaab's hands now. I think they've just got. I think they're confident of getting him across the line, but it all comes down to how much money we get, because we haven't. What we've got to remember is that Darren Eales was the guy in charge of Atalanta, where we signed him from, Atlanta, and negotiated a sell-on fee. So Newcastle would have to give up 25% of any deal. So we may have to pay Atlanta money. So,
okay, so how much the money expected or wanted by Newcastle for Almiron from Al Shabab, if that's true?
don't know. I don't know. They're only talking what a profit of about £9 million. So they only talk about in the region of 30 million, which is not an awful lot for someone who.
A lot of trusted journalists deny this deal from first place. Mark Douglas says no deal in first place. Actually, there was no deal. So I think this is just a game from the agent. For me, my point of view, that Ben Jacob being reached by maybe the agent of Almiron. So agent of Almiron wants to. This is just my theory. Because either Al Shabab doesn't talk to Ben Jacob. I'm sure Ben Jacob, he pretend that he have resource in Saudi Arabia, but I doubt that. He just maybe have some colleagues. Even those colleagues doesn't have any relation with Al Shabab.
Yeah.
Most of the trusted source in Al Shabab, they just repeat what the media says. Nothing from their side about Almiron, because after Jose Mourinho being linked to Al Shabab, all the players in the world start to be linked with Al Shabab. So I don't believe there is no truth in that. So
right.
who you are depending for Almiron's story, and also don't forget about the Roberto Rojas, American Paraguayan editors in ESPN. He denied this transfer, and he said Almiron want to pay. So no, even if he goes, for example, let's say he goes, there is no time for Newcastle for replacement, and how much gonna be the replacement is. So
they're talking.
I'm not convinced he will leave. So what do you think? And Maximin, I understand. Maximin, he left because he doesn't want to buy Eddie Howe. We know that, but Almiron, he play most of the games.
Yeah, the problem is though, وليد, Miggy has got 1 foot. Even I've only got 1 foot, but I can cross the ball with my right foot. Miggy's always got to come on his left foot, and that's his problem. He can't,
Okay, if he left, who will play? Who can I bring?
They're talking about Morgan Gibbs White from Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I saw his stats. It's not that good.
Yeah. So, but
how much?
I mean, I don't think there's such a deal for bringing somebody else in. They might use the money for a different player at a different position, because they've got Anthony Gordon who can play wide right, and that gives us that wide right. But the thing is, pictures from the training ground today actually show Miggy training. Miggy was training there today, so he certainly hasn't gone yet. But I do expect him to go before the end of the window. I do think he'll be gone before the end of the window.
To Al Shabab?
Al Shabab. They're very confident in getting him, according to Dharma Chef of Sky Sports News. They're very confident.
What about the news? What about the news about Almiron doesn't want to go? Doesn't want to leave?
Well, of course he doesn't. Of course he'll not be interested in wanting to go. He's happy here. But the thing is, we've now got to be a bit more tough in how we and how we look at players. Because
we don't mind that, but not reasonable price. How much will Almiron go for?
Well, it's going to be upward of 30 million. Upward of 30 million pounds.
Yeah, but for Almiron, do you think he will maybe postpone this until the summer?
I don't think so. I don't think he'll have any choice. I think
no, because usually what the player do, for example, remember that player, I forget his name, the one who went to Aston Villa, the French winger. Remember؟ شو اسمه اللي زعلونا في كان سنتين لا
دينيا
ها
Aston Villa.
You know the one who was the French player who was linked to Newcastle, the left winger, the right winger. I think.
Can't remember.
Who went to Aston Villa? Diaby.
Oh, right, Diaby. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So what Diaby do? He play hard ball with a lot of clubs. He said that he will go to Al Nassr. He raised his price until he went to Aston Villa. So I expect from Almiron the same. He will not go directly, quickly to first club he call him. Oh, Shabab, you want me? Okay, I'm coming. He will open his opportunities. He will play for a while. And he will be calm and study every move. Not quickly come from Premier League. He play from 2019 until 2004 years in Newcastle, and suddenly going to Saudi League. Doesn't make sense in such a short notice in winter transfer window. Besides, mashallah, Almiron, he's not that injury prone, so I think he worth more than that. Anyway, that's my opinion. So we'll see.
Yeah, but we've got to try and level those sustainability rules, the payment, the money we've got on the sustainability rules, and I think Miggy is going to be surplus to requirements. He's 29-year-old. We've got to look to make some money on a player while we can, and I think the opportunity is now, and I think that's what will happen. I think Miggy will have, although Miggy would said he doesn't want to go, I think there's a good chance that it won't be his decision. It won't be his decision. I think it could be there's an opportunity here to get upwards of 30 million pounds, and I think it'll happen.
اوكي ديف طبعا يتوقع انه راح يصعد، يعني عنده اخبار عن هذا الموضوع. انا كاخبار برضو كتوقع شخصي انه اللاعب لن ينتقل. نشوف في القرارات هذه، حتى النادي تلقاه اصلا متردد، فصعب جدا تجيب خبر دقيق حول الموضوع. طيب هذا بالنسبه للميرون. So who we have Children have operation بيجلس. مين باقي من اللاعبين؟ ويلسون staying there.
What's that? Wilson not be going anywhere. Not during this window. Wilson will be here until at least this summer.
هو كل اللي يصير بروفا للصيف، انا اتوقع بالصيف بيصير في انتقالات، ما بيصير في شيء في الشتاء، لكن نصبر ونشوف. طبعا we said goodbye to Manquillo. We wish him luck. He was a good second to the club, and he wasn't that lucky with Eddie Howe. I don't know why. He's actually a very great standard player, and he's so brave. For me, he did great during Steve Bruce era.
yeah.
But he did now. Wonder why.
He did have the opportunity to. He didn't get as many opportunities that we would have liked, that he would have liked. But again, we have to be a bit more, not let the heartstrings pull. He's a player that was on the sidelines. I think it's best that players like himself move on to get first team football if that's what they want. It's good servant to the club, good professional, but all the best. Hope you enjoy your time in Celta Vigo.
last or second to last, Joelinton. We hear that his contract being leaked by his agent. That's the rumors. Newcastle want to sign him, but I think he went to settle. He went to wait until he's maybe usually sometimes you are injured, you don't want to speak about your future.
Yeah, I think that's the case. He's currently got an injury. He's not going to be fit until possibly
next season,
early May. He might get the last couple of games of the season. We don't know. He might get in before the end of the season. But like you said, he's not looking to go anywhere. Not looking to talk. His contract's there. He's got 18 months to go.
Do you think he will extend or will transfer?
No, I think he'll extend. He's just holding out for. Again, it's not so much about money. It's about length of contract, and I think that's what players like he'll be looking at: length of contract. How long have I got left to play? I need at least a 2-year, 3-year contract. I think you'll get that. Unless it's his decision to say that I want to go, I want to leave, which I don't think he will. I think he's happy here. I think he's very happy here. He seems to be settled. He got his Brazil place while he was at Newcastle, so I think
and improve under Eddie Howe, yes.
Yeah, massively.
Jamal Lascelles.
I think he's already gone. I think Besiktas.
This window.
Yeah, I think he's gone. He'll sign with Besiktas in the next 24, 48 hours.
Okay. So is it certain?
I think so.
Okay.
Apparently it's all done. It just needs to be dot the I's and cross the T's, I think.
Okay. So conclusion.
Yeah.
Almiron, Jamal Lascelles, mostly they are going.
Yeah.
Who's coming?
Your guess is as good as mine, honestly. We've missed out on the guy's just got West Ham. Oh God.
Calvin Phillips.
We've missed out on him. He's gone there. There's a young lad coming from Manchester City, young teenager.
Yeah.
Newcastle also want to sign Nusa, but it looks like he'll go. He's playing in Belgium at the moment, but looks like he'll probably end up going to Tottenham. But he's one of the players that we're supposed to be interested in as well. He'd be a very good player for the future if we could get him. But I think the lure of Tottenham and London will be our undoing. So I think that's where he'll go. And the other player, Morgan Gibbs-White in Nottingham Forest. The jury's out on whether he would make a good addition, but he's got pace. He's got. Is he
better than Almiron?
Yeah, I think he would be. Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly because he's got 2 feet. He can cross the ball with left or right, whereas Miggy was always stuck on that left foot.
Yesterday, I catch some of Cameroon and Gambia game, and I recall I saw Yanite, the young lad we have, and we brought him to final. He was playing. Minty, yeah. He was really challenging against Cameroon.
Yeah,
he did. He gave a pretty game for him.
I think they'll terminate his loan deal.
I think he's ready for the team.
Yeah, could be right. Yeah, could be right. I think they'll terminate his loan deal when he comes back from African Cup of Nations.
This window.
Yeah.
So we have a interesting week.
Yeah.
So from now on, Dave, what we're gonna do for any window, we'll just do the shows in the last days.
Yeah, exactly.
Save our energy.
Yeah.
No point of opening first day, second day as before. No, just the last 5 days. All right, man. Thank you for this updates. This was very helpful. We'll talk. We'll back now to the main topic, which is Shay Given will visit Riyadh this weekend. So I have, just to get the numbers right. Uh, he was started with Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah.
After that, he went to Swindon Town, 1994. I need to wear glasses. Sunderland also as a loan, 17 appearance, 96. طبعا نيوكاسل انتقل، يعني خلينا احنا من الانجليزي، خلينا نتكلم، احنا نبغى ننقل سيرته يعني جماهير نيوكاسل. طبعا 97 الى 2009، يعني تقريبا جلس 12 سنه مع نيوكاسل، 354 مباراه. بعدين انتقل مع مانشستر سيتي، وراح نقول ليش انتقل مانشستر سيتي مع ديف بعد شوي. من افضل حراس الدوري الانجليزي، قاعد سنتين مع مانشستر سيتي، 50 مباراه. بعدين راح استون فيلا، برضو جلس 4 سنوات، ثم اعاره الى ميدلسبرا، واختتم حياته الرياضيه من 2015 2017 مع 8 مباريات مع ستوك سيتي. ثم عاد طبعا لعب مباراه دوليه 134، حارس تاريخي وعز يعني تقريبا الين اعتزل تقريبا هو حارس دولي في منتخب ايرلندا. لعب 134، يعني نادي 100، يعني مباريات كبيره، يعني اتوقع من اكثر نجوم العالم لاعبين في العالم اللي لعب مباريات دوليه. بعدين درب عاد مسيره قصيره في التدريب مده سنه، مساعد مدرب، يعني بعدين شكله راح جرب كان مساعد مدرب، لكنه برضه في نفس الوقت حارس، هذا شيء انترستد. برضه راح تقريبا تدريب، يعني مساعد مدير او مساعد مدرب مع ديربي كاونتي في 2020. شكله فترة الكورونا شكله قال خلاص يكفي. طيب. So Dave, this is interesting. So you give us an introduction about Shay Given. I'm looking forward to meet him this Saturday, and hopefully to get his photo with him and autograph. And if they allow me an interview, I don't think they will allow me. Anyway, so how started? What you can tell us about Sunderland to Newcastle? I think that was interesting.
Yeah, well, he was obviously he was. I think he was on. I think it was I don't think he was at Sunderland full time. I think he was on loan at Sunderland from Blackburn Rovers, and I think we saw his potential. And outstanding goalkeeper, outstanding. And at the time at Newcastle, he was the best goalkeeper, certainly in the Premiership, if not in Europe at that time. He was absolute amazing, fantastic shot stopper. Just a great keeper. We've been blessed with some absolutely great goalkeepers, with Pavel, with Shay, we've got Martin Dubravka in his first stint, and Nick Pope, Steve Harper. We've had some absolutely fantastic goalkeepers, but I think Shay stands out amongst all of them. He was absolutely an amazing goalkeeper. And he couldn't stay with Sunderland. He would never have made it with Sunderland. He would never have been the top goalkeeper he was at Sunderland. So
he didn't.
We rescued him.
Did he succeed in Sunderland, or how was his experience, if you recall, in Sunderland as a loan 6 months?
He was okay. He was, but it was Sunderland, you know what I mean? No, but he had better hopes and aspirations than staying at Sunderland.
Oh, who brought him to Newcastle, if you remember?
Oh, I can't remember who brought him.
96.
I can't remember who brought him. Can't even think that far back. Who but
So he came at the maybe beginning of entertainers, or maybe after just the entertainers period.
Yeah, he would be there around about that time, under Kevin. But I can't remember it was Kevin that brought him, but it was certainly around that time that he came to Newcastle, and
if you remember, he took the place of the first goalkeeper from who, if you recall.
From
who was previous before Shay Given?
I think it was it would be Pav or Shaka, maybe I don't know, maybe even Shaka Hislop. I can't remember who it was, but at that time, I don't know exactly who it was. Unfortunately, me history of that way it's a bit lacking. I can't remember who it was.
No, it's going to be either of them.
At that time, young Steve Harper was at the club. I remember Steve Harper was there, and Steve Harper was just a young kid. I remember Steve Harper training with Pavel and Shay, and I think Steve Harper became a better goalkeeper because of Shay, and Shay helped Steve Harper come along, and then it got to the point where it was a case of Steve Harper would be in goal until he got injured or something like that, and then Shay Given would come back, and Shay was in goal. It was really good. But I think Shay and Steve Harper became we had a good set of goalkeepers with them two at the time.
Any game in your mind remember it was the best, maybe a performance for Shay Given?
I think one of the games against Sunderland. I remember I was at the stadium of Plate, and remember Shay was pulling off some fantastic saves, and I think we won that game. And it was when we were getting promoted, and Sunderland were still in the lower divisions, and Shay made this one save which was out of this world. There was I can't remember who the shot was from, but it was right across and top hand, one of the best high. It was really well off the ground, and save pushed it over the bar. It was a fantastic. Remember that save, but you don't remember a lot of stuff with goalkeepers. It's hard. Goalkeepers is one of those. I mean, myself, I'm a goalkeeper, and we don't get as much recognition as we should do. But
look at this picture. Look how.
Yeah, that was Shay all over that. Fantastic getting involved. Brilliant goalkeeper.
Yes, I didn't remember now a goalkeeper jumped this high.
Yeah, like I say, the save he made against Sunderland was about the same height, but he was actually diving to his left. He was diving to his left, and he got his right hand right above his head, and parried the ball out. It was one of the best saves I've ever seen. And he was so high off the ground. I've got to agree with Andrew. What Andrew's saying there, man. This is we live in the past with Newcastle. Yeah, we've got to move to the future, and I think that's the decision where we are now. We are have to look to the future, and if Shay's there now is getting involved with the coaching and stuff like that, so he can only be good for the club if he's going to become involved with a lot more. So he'll help. He's great talent, great coach, great goalkeeping coach. So if we can bring him to the club, on the goalkeeping side, it'd be fantastic. He'll do a lot of good.
What you can tell us about his leaving Newcastle to Manchester City. I believe there was an incident with Mike Ashley. We really like to elaborate on that if you can.
I think he was one of the players, along with Joey Barton and Nolan, who voiced their opinion about how Mike Ashley was not right for the club, and that they didn't feel as though. And I think it was just one of those things that Mike Ashley rallied against, and players like Nolan and Shay were the ones to go. So it was just made his mouth go, which is why he's endeared by Newcastle supporters, because he was on Newcastle supporter side, he was on the fan side, and he wasn't afraid to make his mouth go. But look, he made his mouth go, ended up at Manchester City, and won titles. So can it be bad for him?
So he came to Manchester City. I don't recall. Did he get the title for Premier League?
No, he got the FA Cup.
The FA Cup.
Yeah.
Because I remember he was American goalkeeper in Manchester City. So how is his performance in Manchester City?
Well, I think it speaks for itself, really. I think he helped Manchester City. He was thereabouts, and he was never going to be full-time first choice when they had that much money to spend. I think that's why he was so why he moved on in the end, because he wasn't going to be first choice. And there was Joe Hart, and there was I can't remember who the other goalkeeper was. It wasn't Brad Friedel, but somebody else, wasn't it? I can't remember who the other goalkeeper was, but he was never going to be the number one choice, because I say he went from Newcastle and he got his FA Cup. I think it was, I don't think what season it was. Can't see what season it was. Yeah, he won the FA Cup with Manchester City in 2010-11, and of course then he went to Aston Villa after that, didn't he? So yeah.
طبعا يعني مسيرة حافلة يعني لحارس شي جيفن. انتقل طبعا يعني الى من نيوكاسل. احنا نتكلم عن انتقاله الى مانشستر سيتي. وقتها يعني صاحب شوية خلافات مع المالك السابق مايك أشلي، لأنه كان في فترة لا يثق فيها حد. وصل لفترة فيها نيوكاسل لا يثقون في مايك أشلي، وكان من اللاعبين اللي تكلموا يعني. فنتيجة هذا الكلام يعني تم رحيله عن النادي اللي جلس فيه تقريبا 12 سنة، وذهب يعني لمانشستر سيتي وحقق يعني كأس الاتحاد، ويعني حقق إنجاز يعني يدعم مسيرته بإنجاز كبير كأس الاتحاد. كان حارس أساسي وقتها. بعدين بعد يعني انتقل عد ميدلسبرا، والنادي الأخير اللي ختم فيه اللي هو ستوك سيتي، وطبعا أستون فيلا. يمكن راح من السيتي لأستون فيلا. مسيرة حافلة الحارس. طبعا راح إن شاء الله راح نقابله يوم السبت بإذن الله في الحدث المنظم من نادي نيوكاسل يونايتد في اريا لاونج في بوابة الرياض، حي طريق الملك فهد. اريا لاونج راح ان شاء الله يكون في ايفنت خاص يوم السبت الساعة 8 مساء. الدعوة موجودة للجميع، ويفضل التسجيل عبر الرابط لتنسيق الدعوات والحصول على المشاركة على السحوبات وعمل أو الحصول على المشروب المجاني، وفرصة يعني الحصول على توقيعات الحارس الأسطوري لنادي نيوكاسل يونايتد شاي جيفن. شكرا ديف طبعا على هذه المعلومات. تقريبا هذا كل ما كان لدينا اليوم. بانتظاركم جماهير نيوكاسل تحضرون تتابعون معنا المباراة في اريا لاونج يوم السبت. نشوف طبعا كأس الاتحاد الإنجليزي، البطولة الأعرق في التاريخ. ممكن عندنا ايش عندنا؟ طبعا عندنا برضو يعني كل مره يقول لك الرقصه الاخيره، تذاكر اللي يهتم بمباراه النصر وانتر ميامي. طبعا النصر يعني بعد ما تم الغاء البطوله في الصين بسبب تكاثف الجماهير في التدريبات ومقر المؤتمر، يعني قرروا يلغون البطوله او المباراه. ففرصه معوضه يعني للجماهير بالمواجهه هذه. ويقول لك الرقص، ازعجونا في موضوع الرقص الاخير. انا ما اعتقد انه بتكون الرقص الاخيره، اتوقع انه راح يتواجهون، لكن ممكن تكون الرقصه الاخيره في الرياض. طبعا هذه الحلقه كانت يعني اخر اخبار نيوكاسل والحديث عن ابرز انجازات، ويعني طله بسيطه على الحارس الرائع شي جيفن مع مشجع العريق ديف هافري من نيوكاسل. تقريبا هذا كل ما لدينا اليوم. طبعا هذه الدعوة موجودة في حساباتنا في تويتر وحساب النادي بالعربي وأيضا في الواتساب. طبعا إذا سجلتم راح تجيكم رسالة زي كذا تثبت أنكم سجلتم، بعدين يجيكم رسالة بتأكيد الحضور لإبرازها عند الدخول. Dave, we would like to thank you at the end of this show for this information.
Oh, I haven't finished yet. I've got the biggest one yet with Shay. And
yeah, sure.
Yeah, the biggest one with Shay. Fun fact with Shay, and and I'm saying you shouldn't mention this to Shay when you see him. He's the only Irishman who doesn't know where Dublin is. Now, this
only Irishman who doesn't know where Dublin is?
Yeah.
Why he doesn't know where Dublin is?
Because it's with reference to a game that Newcastle had against, I think it was Aston Villa, and Shay was in goal, about to take a goal kick, rolled the ball on the ground to take the goal kick, and Dion Dublin was standing behind him, ran around in front of him, and kicked the ball into an empty net. Shay didn't even know he was there. Now, Shay Given will always be known as the Irishman who didn't know where Dublin is, because he stood behind him. He stood hiding behind him.
There is a player named Dublin.
Yeah, Dion Dublin. That's what I said.
Newcastle game against what team? What team?
I think it was Aston Villa. I can't remember. I'm sure it was Aston Villa.
No, I think I can mention this.
Yeah. Just if you see him, just say, Shay, where's Dublin?
Huh? Okay. Yeah, but I'm afraid he will do some punch to my face.
He might. But he was also a very suspicious man.
I would say, I want to ask you a question. Where is Dublin?
Yeah.
Where is Dublin located?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. طبعا قصة.
You should go on YouTube or something and to put that in and see the incident. It is quite funny. The fact is that he had the ball in his hand and he put the ball on the ground. He never checked behind him.
And the player is Irish as well.
Dublin is Irish as well, yeah. But the thing is, he scored against us, but it was Shay's fault.
طبعا القصة اللي يحكيها طبعا ديف عن الحارس شي جيفن. طبعا هذه القصة يمكن يعرفونها الهلاليين. تذكرون صلاح بصير في نهائي آسيا لما أخذ الكرة من الحارس والحارس ما انتبه له، الحارس الياباني، فريق ناغويا، عمل في 400 أظن 14 أو 17 إذا تذكرون. تقريبا نفس اللقطة صارت لشاي جيفن. يقول لك شاي جيفن هو الحارس الذي يعني هو إيرلندي، هو الإيرلندي الوحيد الذي لا يعرف أين تقع دبلن. أنا ما دخلت السالفة مزاجي، قلت كيف يعني حارس ما يعرف أين دبلن؟ يعني ما انولد فيها. طلع إنه في لاعب اسمه دبلن خطف الكرة منه، جاء يعني يدق الكرة كذا في الأرض شاي جيفن، واستغفلوا المهاجم من خلفه يعني وخطف الكرة. المهاجم اسمه دبلن، إنه فهو حارس إيرلندي ما عرف دبلن، إنه عرف إنه دبلن وراه يعني. فهي نكتة. فنقول إن شاء الله هذا الشيء نشوف ردة فعله. يوم السبت and appreciate it. This is gold stuff. This is not coming from this coming from a historical fan like you, Dave. We really appreciate that. So any I'm trying to find questions, but طبعا الماكس تكلمنا عن هذا كله، ترى تكلمنا على الانتقالات. هلا والله فيك يا أسامة. Most are they comment, not the question, but the only question we have here, we only talk, we speak about it earlier in the show. تكلمنا عن الأجوبة يا ماكس في هذا الموضوع. Any story, new story or different story before we finish, Dave?
Nothing at the moment, وليد. Nothing happening at the moment. It's all quiet on the Western Front. Let's hope that that we do bring some players in, whether on loan or we use the money that we get from Almiron and Lascelles. But we've got the FA Cup game on Saturday, and those players were in training today, so they were training. So it doesn't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon, but it may well be in the next 24, 48 hours that we see some changes. And I certainly think that Lascelles will go at his choice, and I think that Almiron will go at our choice. I think that's one way we're going to make the money up.
Dave, maybe we didn't. Maybe it's an opportunity to talk about Villa game. We have an important game in Villa on 30 January. At last day of the transfer window. And we beat him in the first game 5-1. And what do you think will happen? Are we ready for Aston Villa, even if we didn't get more players?
A lot of players are coming back from injury. So I can't really say it because I think we could have a better squad to choose from. You know, we've got other players coming back from injury. I think Wilson, they expected Wilson to be back for the Fulham game, but I think we'll keep him for the Aston Villa game. They're not playing against Fulham because we've got to look to the league. Forget about the FA Cup this season. I think the FA Cup, look, we need to be consolidating where we are, and we need to get players back for the league. And let's try and get up the league as far as we possibly can. And let's try and get into a European place, whether that's a conference or a Europa place. I don't like the conference because to me it's a Mickey Mouse competition. It's just there for teams who can't make it. And the worst point is the Premier League might lose one of its Champions League positions. So instead of the top 4 going at the Champions League, they might only be the top 3. And that means there'll be less places in the Europa Conference and the Europa League for teams. So you may have to finish in the top 5 to get into one of those competitions rather than the top 6 or top 7.
معليش. نيوكاسل واستون فيلا بتكون 30 يناير. بتكون طبعا مباراة صعبة، لكن بتكون اخر يوم الانتقالات، فما نعرف ايش ممكن يصير في النادي. احنا قلنا خلاص يعني من الفترات الانتقال بنركز على اخر 10 ايام، نقعد طول الايام نقعد نتكلم وننتظر، وبالاخير ما في شيء، ما تصير الاحداث الا في اخر اسبوع او اخر 3 ايام الان. فنشوف فولهام قبلها احنا تكلمنا عن فولهام يا ماكس، شكلك ما كلمت، وتكلمنا عن لاسيلز والدوري التركي. انتم لازم تجون بدري طيب شكرا لك ديف، سعودي ديف. Thank you Dave for your appearance, weekly appearance of you. This is like now Newcastle with الوليد and Dave show, not just Newcastle with الوليد. Thank you Dave. شكرا لكم للمتابعة، ونراكم إن شاء الله السبت. وتصبحون على خير.